back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman T.J. Lang.
And we are back here at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Good to have you along here, along with T.J. Lang and Mike Neal. Our program heard throughout the state on some of these great radio stations like WFHR in Wisconsin Rapids, WDUX-FM in Wapaka, WJCM in Rice Lake, WTSO in Madison, WACD in Antigo, WKLJ in Sparta, and WRJN in Racine. Well, it is time now for the Granite Peak Ski Area segment. And Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau, the tallest and largest ski area in Wisconsin, 700 vertical feet and 74 runs. Granite Peak offers terrain for all levels of skiers, along with 6 terrain parks and tree skiing glades. Right now, you can save big money on season passes and multiple day lift tickets by visiting skigranitepeak.com. Great specials now at skigranitepeak.com. Let's head out to the audience. Justin Hall.
All right, Bill, remember, inthehuddleshow.com. That's where you can submit your questions up in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see it there. Also, if you're a social networker, we are on Facebook, In The Huddle GB, after your facebook.com, and we are at Twitter at In The Huddle Show if you want to get a hold of us that way.
By the way, Justin, before you get started, we had a lady come up and tell us she saw it on the scroll on ESPN. It said the fine for Chuck Cecil was out $40,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't even open his mouth, and he got 40 grand, so.
It's a shame.
All right. Janice, we'll start with our first question coming from Janice in Appleton, and it kind of piggybacks what you guys were talking about with the weightlifting, Mike. Do you still think you can put up that much weight with how your training has changed?
I'm pretty sure I can. Give me about 3 weeks of just hardcore lifting, I probably could, but it's something that I probably never do again, to be quite honest with you.
Was it surprising? I mean, was it a big surprise for you when you saw how different it was, the training that you did in the NFL compared to what you did in college, like you were talking about before?
Most definitely. Like I said before, when I trained for the Combine was my first introduction to not having to push around a lot of weight, but being able to maintain what I had and use it in more explosive ways. So, that's when I first got my introduction, and I actually like it a lot more. I mean, that lifting all that weight all the time is definitely not good for your joints and your bones.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. Anybody on the panel can answer this one. Bill, you can hop in if you want to. It's from Christy in Kaukauna. Who would win between a bench press competition, TJ, Bill Scott, Hulk Hogan, or yourself?
Certainly wouldn't be me, I'll tell you that.
Bill's kind of got a nice little physique to him, so I bet he'd lift some weights. But
what about a race? You think Bill could take you guys in a race?
No chance.
I could take.
No chance.
I could hang with TJ for a little while.
Oh boy.
Maybe the first 5
Are
yards.
we talking about in a car or like on our feet? Or what kind of race
we can do whatever kind of race you want. What about a big wheel race?
How about on skates?
I don't think they had big wheels when Bill was a kid, but I was very familiar with big wheels. So
They had big wheels when I was a kid. I'm not that old.
All right, we'll move on before there's some altercations with the panel. Vicky from Appleton wants to know, were you guys surprised with how better the Lions were, or was this an instance where you guys had an off game with the turnovers as much as they were out there?
Well, I think, like I said last week, just if you watch the Lions game, I mean, they had a potential chance to beat the Chicago Bears. They played Philadelphia really close. They lost by 3 points, and they're definitely 100%. They're an improved team, and they're going to win some games this year. There's no doubt in my mind that they will. So I think it's part of it. It's kind of both. We obviously made some mistakes that we wouldn't like to have those turnovers we had, but on their part they played a physical, tough game too. So you got to give credit to them. They hung around the game, and they're definitely improving. They're going on the right track.
Is it hard to stay up to date on what's going on with the NFL, what other teams are doing, with how ingrained you guys are to your day-to-day work, as well as the upcoming opponent? I'm sure everything you guys are focusing on right now is Washington.
Most definitely. I think that when you win or lose after a game, you have those moments where you enjoy the victory, but you understand it's a business. I mean, that's a win, but that win doesn't ensure you a win the next week. So I mean, win or lose, after that night is over with, the next day or not even before the next day. When we're on the plane, the coaches are already preparing for the next opponent. I mean, you just take it one game at a time. You don't look ahead, you don't look behind, and you certainly don't look into what other teams are doing because you worry more about yourself and what your team could do and produce on the field versus somebody else. But I mean, you definitely the game plan is the game plan. You stick to it, and going into the week, you definitely study an opponent right after the game.
All right, we'll get to our next question. This one coming from Steven Madison. It's for you, Mike. Playing at Purdue, do you have any memories of playing at Camp Randall or any games stand out in your mind going up against the Badgers?
Well, yes, we got blew out the last time I went there. It was my senior year, so yeah, we got beat like 33-0. I mean, that's a memory that's ingrained. I mean, but you know what? I'm not sure the times that we played them. I think that we probably beat them once out of 3 times. So, and I actually didn't play that game. So, yeah, I got bad memories with the Badgers.
You have any good memories? And it's been a couple of years for Purdue, right?
Well, with the Badgers are just winning football, period.
Yeah. What about with your time in Purdue?
I had, a lot of good memories on and off the field. I mean, there's a lot of people actually for Detroit. One of my best friends played defensive end, and I'm real good friends with Ndamukong Suh. But just the whole, on and off the field, just having a lot of players around the league that played at Purdue that are now starting, great players that we just share memories from being back then. It's pretty cool.
You mentioned you knew Sue. I know you mentioned with Raji earlier, right, but I'm getting cut off.
Time. Sorry, but time's up. All right. We'll get the next one in. All right, we'll give our hand out our winner for the email contest that's coming up in the next segment, along with Mike Neal and TJ Lang, the guy with the banana seat and the cards in his spokes. You remember that, don't you?
Banana seat.
You had no idea. We're coming back with more from the 5th quarter after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Rewind.